Welcome to Jetmir, Nexus of Revels. As far as our opening hand goes, we've got 1, 2, 3. We don't have any ramp, but we do have, we do have 3 and Dynamo. We don't have instant or sorcery ramp. But, do we want to keep on this one? Yeah, I guess we... No, yeah, we can keep on this one because we do have Worldly Tutor that does allow us to grab something like Scut Swarm, and that allows us to get some tokens onto the battlefield. Yeah, I think that sounds good. So let's go and lead off with Wooded Foothills. Let's go and crack Wooded Foothills, grab ourselves a Stomping Ground. Actually, we'll grab Jetmir's Garden. That sounds perfect. Get down Jetmir's Garden, and then anything else. We will pass the turn over to our opponent. We're playing Jetmir, Nexus of Revels. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and have Vigilance as long as you control 3 or more creatures. They get +1/+0 and Trample as long as you have 6 creatures, and then +1/+0 and Double Strike as long as you have 9 or more creatures. So let's go and lead off with Mountain, and then anything else, pass it to our opponent. Playing against Breya, which it has been a long time since I played against Breya. Whenever Breya enters the battlefield, create 2 blue 1 Thopter artifact creature tokens with flying. Then for a 2-mana activation, sacrifice 2 artifacts, choose 1. And that's going to be Reality Chip, okay. And that's going to be Clifftop Retreat. So let's drop in Clifftop Retreat. I think we're good with that. And then we can go for Scut Swarm off of Worldly Tutor while they're tapped out. I think that sounds like a pretty good plan. Alright, so let's go... Because we do want this to sick. Let's get... actually, we probably should have waited to do this on their turn, but we'll just go and grab it anyway. Why not? Let's have some fun. Let's grab Scut Swarm. That'll go on top. I forgot that Worldly Tutor is a reveal card. And then we will pass the turn over to our opponent. Play against Breya, 2-mana activation. Sacrifice 2 artifacts, deals 3 damage to target player or planeswalker. Then, for another activation, target creature gets -4/-4 until end of turn, or you gain 5 lives. So we've got the Atraxa version of artifacts. And it's been a long time since I played against Breya because I recorded a lot of 1v1 Commander in the 1v1 room for a very long time. And with Breya... Breya is absolutely gnarly in 1v1 Commander. It is just... it is just crazy sometimes just how out of hand it can get. Alright, so let's go and drop in... Let's drop in Scut Swarm. Let's drop in a land for the turn. Get ourselves a 1/1 token on the battlefield, and then anything else. Pass the turn over to our opponent. So we're looking at 3 and Dynamo potentially for next turn. We do have Shamanic Revelation, and so that will end up giving us, if we can get a few more tokens on the battlefield, kind of catch them some card advantage, that will be good. Now, if they do end up getting down Breya, we do have Heroic Intervention that will allow us to hopefully dodge the 2-mana activation, 3 damage to target, or excuse me, target creature gets -4/-4 until end of turn. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed on that one. So we did cover both commanders. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors. A TCG Player, if you go to bit.ly/JoltMTG, that will apply my affiliate link. That'll allow you to get some cards and help support the channel at the same time. So if you do use that link, much obliged. I certainly appreciate that. Let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. If you want to play Commander online, they've got you covered. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to directly support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. But if you're keeping score at home with Jetmir, in Jetmir's little garden, little cat demon garden, it is officially free time, so let's have some fun. And that was Enthusiastic Mechanaut. Oh, look at that. Look at that art. I love that. And that's a little flying goblin. Heck yeah. I'm all about that. So we'll see what sort of flavor Breya is. I think one of the things where I just always have this immediate traumatic response to Breya is, I'll talk about that here in just a second, is how much I played against... yeah, let's get this. Alright, so we run into Artifact Mutation, and Breya is an artifact, so we can actually end up waiting for that. So we are looking at the Reality Chip potentially. Seize the Spoils? Yeah, I'm actually kind of okay with Seize the Spoils on this one. We will have to discard a card. We can end up going for Jetmir if we want to, but if we can hit a land drop for the turn, so we have to discard a card. Let's go ahead and get rid of... Even Revelation for 2 is definitely worth it. I'd hate to give up on Heroic Intervention. I really do like dumping a lot of creatures out with Artifact Mutation. This is really tough, but if we drop down on 3 and Dynamo, I guess we just try to... I guess we get rid of Artifact Mutation is a direct removal on Breya. I guess we get rid of Revelation. Not super wild about that one, but I like protecting our board state. Oh, there we go, and we hit a land drop for the turn. Okay, that is what we want to see. All right, so we get the Insect token onto the battlefield, and then we can still end up leaving up Artifact Mutation. Okay, and then anything else, And we will pass the turn over. Yeah, we don't really want to swing into a 2/2 over there. So, yeah, with Artifact, I really wanted to hold on to Revelation, because as we get more tokens down, we get definitely a better volume of card draw off of that. But Heroic Intervention, we are playing against an Esper deck with red, so we're looking at spot removal and board wipe. So if we can dodge a board wipe with Heroic Intervention, that is something we definitely want to see. And that's going to be Cathartic. That's going to be Reconfigure for 2. So we can go for actually Cathartic in response to that. And I think I kind of like that. So let's go Prismatic Vista. Let's crack Prismatic Vista. Give ourselves a basic land on the battlefield. Let's go and grab ourselves a forest. I think that'll work out. Yeah, we'll grab a basic forest. Let's go for Cathartic. That's going to give us an extra Scut Swarm token on the battlefield. And then we're going to go for Cathartic in response to that mana. There we go. Deals 3 damage to Trinket Mage. It's going to be red and forest. And then that'll still allow us to get a token on the battlefield. They dump that mana into Reconfigure off of Reality Chip, and we'll still be in a pretty good spot. So we'll see what that is. Alright, so it's going to be an extra token on the battlefield. And if we get a land drop for next turn, we're looking at Jetmir. This is going to be 5. So we are looking at almost 1 away. Well, actually, we'll be at 6 with Trample and +2/+0. So we'll definitely be in a really good spot. And if we wanted to, we could end up going for Artifact Mutation on the Reality Chip, or even something as little as Chromatic Lantern. And we might end up doing that if we want to try to be a little aggressive on this one. So I do like leaving up Artifact Mutation for Breya, though, as a piece of removal. And so we're looking at Thran Dynamo, potentially getting that down, or we can just straight up just go for Jetmir and try to get some combat damage in. Because if we end up going for yeah, let's do that. So if we end up going Jetmir, that gives us the opportunity to crack a treasure token, and then we can end up going for a Heroic Intervention, just in case there's a board wipe or something kind of funny. So let's go and push in for 8, and that'll drop them down to 32. I mean, we'll probably see the Reality Chip block on one of them. All right, they do not, so that goes down to 32. And then anything else, pass it over to our opponent. So we've got some good stuff for next turn, or at least during our opponent's turn. We've got Heroic Intervention, and then we got Artifact Mutation to stop that. And then next turn, we'll see if we can't get down a Thran Dynamo. At the very least, we'll be able to set up Nature's Lore and kind of go from there. So, but yes, it is officially free time. But yeah, with Breya, one of the reasons why I hated Breya for so long was because our opponent, not our opponent, but Brian Westman? Let me look that up so I don't... Brian Wiseman, former early 90s Magic Pro and established Magic Pro, they had built a Breya deck that they were just pushing as this just like super cutthroat 1v1 commander deck, and it was really popular in the 1v1 commander, and basically it was just kind of what competitive commander is now, before competitive commander was kind of a thing. And so there was just a lot of people playing Breya, just cutthroat Mind Twist Breya, and that's not fun. that's where my hatred for Mind Twist came from, because it was always Breya, tutor for Mind Twist, dump the hand, and then just establish Breya, and then just go from there. So that's why anytime I see Breya, I just get shell shocked, because I know Mind Twist is around the corner. I know that's going to happen. So, but anyway, this appears to be more of a fun version of Breya, which actually makes me want to build it, and that does sound fun. All right, so opponent did drop down. Yeah, I think we still end up leaving up. So if we end up going Artifact Mutation, that's going to get us... We got Nature's Lore with the land drop. It's going to be a big chunk of damage. I think we can make this work. Let's go for it. So we're going to pop Chromatic Lantern. That's going to be red and then tap down for green, because that's going to give us a bunch of sapling tokens. And yeah, that's kind of what we want to get for. We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we make the land drop with Nature's Lore, and we'll be in a good spot to go. There we go. So we can go for Nature's Lore, drop the land in. Look at those sapling tokens. That's pretty gnarly. So let's go for Nature's Lore. Let's grab ourselves I guess a Canopy Vista. I think that sounds good, because either way we're just going to be... And actually I think, yeah, we'll just end up grabbing... Yeah, we'll just grab Taiga Paquette. So we drop that in. That's going to get an extra token on the battlefield. Oh, look at that. That is just beautiful. Let's go and push in with the entire crew. And that's going to be Double Strike, Vigilance, and Trample. So we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times 4. Yeah, that should... Oh, there we go. Knock our opponent down. They could have blocked up on that one, but they just go for Breya. And next turn, that's kind of about it. But this is what we're looking to do with Jetmir. is that you can just build a Naya ramp deck, your baseline Naya ramp deck, have some good stuff in there, even not the best removal, just a Cathartic or something like that, 3 damage to a creature. Start dumping some creatures out there. When the coast is clear for Jetmir to come down, just drop it in there. You end up with a bunch of double strikes and trample and vigilance, and you know, even then, if something happens to the sapling tokens, we've got Secure the Waste, is even if we don't have to land for the turn, what we could have done is could have swung in for combat, gone for Secure the Waste as a combat trick to push us into the 9 territory, and then been good to go and still have Heroic Intervention as some board protection. So anyway, if you enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks, bye. Welcome to Jetmir, Nexus of Revels. As far as our opening hand goes, we got 3 lands in the hand, and we will keep on this one. I like it. We've got some spot removal in Path to Exile. We got some card advantage in Thrill of Possibility, and we've got some extra land drops with Azusa. But we'll see if we can get those extra land drops going. Maybe we run into Cathartic, so we will take that. So let's go and lead off with Scalding Tarn. Let's go and crack Scalding Tarn, grab ourselves a Jetmir's Garden. That way we can get some gardening going, get some nice herbs and vegetables going. And then anything else past the turn to our opponent. We're playing Jetmir, Nexus of Revels. Creatures you control get +1, +0, have vigilance. As long as you have 3 more creatures, then once you get to 6 creatures, they gain trample, get +1, +0. Let's drop in Forest. I think that sounds good. And then, yeah, we'll pass the turn to our opponent. So yes, with the second ability from Jetmir, as long as we have 6 creatures, they get +1, +0, and then they gain, what is it? They gain trample. And then if we have 9 creatures, we get +1, +0, and we get double strike, which is a lot of fun. Double strike's good. That's kind of what we're going for in this. So with the Chroma's Will, yeah, I think we'll just drop discarded Chroma's Will. We want to, oh yeah, I was about to say, we want to get some fast mana going on our side of the battlefield, and that is it. I like that. So, and see what we draw into Crucible of Defiance. So we end up dropping in Ancient Tomb. That's going to be 1 Power Stone that comes into play tapped, and we can still leave it Path to Exile, or we can try to go for Honor the God Pharaoh if we want to do that too. So let's just kind of get ahead on mana. I think that sounds pretty good. So let's drop in Ancient Tomb. Let's drop in 1 Power Stone. And if they end up going for Breya, then we've got Path to Exile to kind of hit the reset button, and then we can just kind of go from there. I think that sounds like a good plan. If we wanted to, we can go for Azusa, Lost But Seeking, and then go for Boseiju, and then go for Sokazan, or whatever it's called, and then we can kind of go from there. So, Lost But Seeking, my little girl, Loretta, in fact, she'll be turning 3 in November, around Thanksgiving, so that's crazy. But anyway, she calls Hide and Seek, Hide and Seeky. You know, play Hide and Seeky? So it's Azusa, Lost But Seeky. If you want to start calling it that, because I can't stop calling it that. I think that's kind of funny. I like it. Azusa just running around playing Seeky. All right, so we run into Druid. And so we can go for Jetmir. We can go for Honor the God Pharaoh with 1 red mana. And we can make the land drop for the turn. So let's end up going for Honor the God Pharaoh. That's going to be red. And excuse me, that does cut us down on Path to Exile if we want to end up going for that. So how do we want to set this up? So we can go for the discard with Honor the, but either way we're going to be going down if we end up doing it. We can make the land drop with Crucible. Yeah, I think that sounds good. Let's do that. So let's make the land drop with Crucible. Let's go for Honor the God Pharaoh. Tapping down for red. Let's go ahead and discard. I think Azusa. Yeah, Lost and Seeky. We'll send Lost and Seeky to the graveyard right now. Honor the God Pharaoh. Draw into a couple more cards. Okay, we get ourselves a token. And let's drop in Druid. And then we've got Boseiju, if we wanted to end up going for that to pop one of there. We'd actually use Boseiju on Breya too, so I think that actually does sound like a pretty good plan. Anything else, we will pass the turn over to our opponent. So we do have double, we do have at least enough mana for Unexpected Windfall to go for that, so we'll try to see if we can't set that up and then go from there. So opponent gets Breya. Whenever Breya enters the battlefield, create 2 Thopter tokens, then for a 2 mana activation, and that will be, let's see, I think either way they're going to get the card advantage. Let's go for Path to Exile in response to that. Yeah, let's do that. So we're going to go Path to Exile, because if they keep getting card advantage off Joyrah, that's not going to be good. So they can still get a land, they can still go for Breya, but we'll try to stop it. Breya, 2 mana activation, sacrifice 2 artifacts. They can choose one of 3 effects, and those 3 effects include 3 damage target creature or planeswalker, target player or planeswalker, target creature gets -4/-4, or they gain 5 life. There we go. All right, so we've got a good little army for next turn. We've got we've got some 1/1s out there. Let's see what we draw into for the turn. And that is going to be, we shall see. We got the land drop, but we do have removal for Breya in Boseiju. So, and actually, that's going to be destroy target artifact. They get a land for the turn, which I'm not super wild about, but we can at least kind of leave that up and then go from there. All right, so we got the land for the turn. We can drop in Jetmir, and then that'll be 3 creatures, and then get a little bit of power and toughness bonus. But if we go for Jetmir, I'd like to be able to leave up Teferi's Protection. So let's drop in Forest. Let's go ahead and swing, because that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we do have 9 total mana. But if we try to do anything that's pretty heavy on red, because we end up going Jetmir, that cuts us down. We can't go for Teferi's Protection. Yeah, let's go ahead and push in, because we want to get some damage in on this one. Let's drop him down to 38. And then what we'll try to do is try to set up an unexpected windfall for next turn. That'll be 2 treasure tokens. That'll allow us to... We have to discard a card, so we can get rid of Cathartic if we need to. And then with Unexpected Windfall, that'll give us 2 treasure tokens, and that does give us the option to leave up Jetmir to allow us to just kind of give ourselves a board wipe protection. You know, if you haven't played Jetmir, one of the big things, or if any sort of, you know, heavy creature-based deck, you definitely want to run protection in there, especially if you're playing a commander that cares about the volume of creatures on the battlefield. Heroic Intervention to Teferi's Protection is so important to include those in your deck, because you can turn a board wipe into a one-sided board wipe against your opponent, which is just an absolutely wonderful thing. All right, so it's going to be a Whirlwind of Thought. I think that's correct. Let's see, Whirlwind of Thought. Yeah, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, draw a card. So that's going to be Talisman of Progress, and that is very good in Breya. And I think I want to build Breya now. I'm seeing this kind of like fun Breya deck from our opponent, and this sounds like a lot of fun. You know, just building like an artifact good stuff deck. So that's going to be Talisman 1, 2, 3. We still got Unexpected Wind. Yeah, I like this. We'll go for Unexpected Windfall. And then we could, if we wanted to, we could go for Boseiju on Whirlwind of Thought to kind of stop that card advantage, instead of leaving up spot removal for Breya. Let's kind of see what this Unexpected Windfall goes for. And then we'll kind of be able to deploy out, hopefully, something pretty nice for next turn. So we'll wait until we get to our end step, and then get that all set up. Okay, so let's go for Unexpected Windfall. That's going to be red. And if we want to, we can actually Boseiju on that. So we'll see. Let's get rid of Cathartic Pyre. That's going to give us 2 card advantage and give us 2 treasure tokens on the battlefield. And they do have a counterspell on this one. That is a bummer, partner. And yeah, I guess we just end up, because that forces them to go for Breya next turn if they end up going for Boseiju. But there's the point now where they can just recast Breya. So let's just stop the... They get an extra land out of the deal, but let's just go ahead and stop that. All right, so that's going to be... We're not definitely kind of in a rough spot right now, because they're going to get a land for that one. That's pretty much going to be coast is clear for Breya. And the only thing that we can do in response to Breya is... man, that Muddle the Mixture, that is rough. That hurts on the Unexpected Windfall, especially with us discarding a card. Ugh. That's like getting hit and tripped at the same time. That's a bummer, partner. All right, so that's Unexpected Windfall. Now we are... basically in top deck mode. We'll see what we draw into, and that is going to be Plains, which actually does help us out, because that's kind of what we needed to see, something that allows us to leave up Teferi's Protection. All right, so we got the crew. We got Vigilance now. Let's go and swing in. Little by little, we'll chip away at our opponent's life total. All right, so we're going to swing in, drop them down to 33, and then anything else, pass it over to our opponent. There we go. But yeah, if you got a Breya deck that's a little bit more fun in nature, let me know. Hop in the comments. You know, any sort of fun stuff that you want to end up going for. Because typically, if there's an artifact style commander that I can build, I always typically shove 2 things in there. I always end up shoving Thopter Foundry in there and Dust Metal Mindcrate combo. And you can definitely do that in Breya and kind of get that going. So I might end up building Breya, but if you got some fun interactions, like we played against this opponent earlier, I don't know how I'm going to splice these videos together, but they, you know, just something as simple as the reality chip. That's a fun, that's a fun card. You know, it's a home to have it's fun to have an artifact deck that, you know, gives you the option to just kind of play around with different things like that. So let's see what this is. Target creature is going to get -4/-4. And that's going to be 1, 2, 3. Ooh, that is Urza. That's Urza, partner. Okay. And that's going to be... They can't tap down too much right now, but that is a 10/10 construct token that they can definitely definitely do some stuff with. So now if they end up going for the 2-mana activation off of, and actually, excuse me, they go and tap down with it. Yeah, that is just right off the bat. All right, this is going to be Talisman of Hierarchy. So that is a lot of mana. We do have Teferi's Protection to dodge one piece of spot removal. But I don't know. It looks like they're at the stabilizing point in this one. We'll see what we rip into. All right, so that's going to be, they're going to go for Jetmir. Let's at least force the issue. Let's go Ancient Tomb off of Teferi's Protection. That way if they want to sacrifice 2 more artifacts, they can. Because they've tapped down Glimmer Void, tapped down Arcane Signet, and they have to sacrifice 2 more artifacts, which we're kind of okay with that because we can just go for Jetmir again next turn, and they could just technically just do this during our upkeep. So we'll see if they want to end up burning the 2 extra artifacts to go for that, because we're totally cool with this. So that's going to be Teferi's Protection. And then we'll see what drop. And the only downside is, even if we do try to bounce back from this... Alright, so opponent does end up going for that in response to that. We'll return Jetmir back to the command zone. And we get Jetmir back onto the battlefield. The only downside with Breya going back to the command zone is that they're going to be able to recast it and get some more Thopter tokens. So, see what we can do. Alright, so we run into Windswept Heath. Let's get Jetmir back onto the battlefield. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom, boom, boom. Tap down for 2 off of 1 Power Stone. And at this point, we're going to hold on to the land because with that land, we can represent some sort of protection, but at the same time, we do have some landfall creatures in here. And if we run into a landfall creature, you know, let's say we have Scut Swarm, we get down Scut Swarm, and we just happen to have a fetch land in our hand, that is probably one of the best things you can do with Scut Swarm is followed up with that. So, but if you're keeping score at home, it's not looking so hot because it looks like Breya is probably going to come down, and then that'll put them in a spot to where Breya can take care of our board state. So we'll see what we can do about that. But yeah, as far as Breya goes, I enjoy the... It's just so gnarly. You know, in a multiplayer setting, with it being an artifact creature, you know, most people can kind of deal with it having some sort of artifact removal. But in a 1v1 setting, the modal effect of Breya is just so powerful. It's just good. You can get a lot of, you know, especially with treasures out there. You know, think about how many treasures have come out recently. And especially with Breya, you know, there's a lot of times where if you get your mana, you know, like right now, we're established on mana. We can hold back on a land. And especially with Breya, once you get established on lands, you know, if you just got a bunch of treasure tokens out there, dropping something like Dockside and Breya, that's a lot of value. You can just start picking apart a lot of creatures just for sacrificing 2 artifacts. Target creature gets -4, -4. Yeah, that's some good stuff right there. And especially with Urza out there, that's... Oh. This is getting pretty rough. So we'll see what they can... Alright, that's going to be Urza activation. And then that's going to be the Exile Zone for Aetherflux Reservoir with the... with the Aetherflux out there. 2 spells cast. And so they're going to be able to gain some life gain. We'll see what... They've got 4 cards in the hand, so they can chain together some other stuff. That'll be pretty good. So it's going to be 1, 2... And they can pop Jetmir again. I guess we can just keep redeploying Jetmir because that was all of Jetmir. That'll be Ancient Tomb again, so we can tap down for Jetmir again. And that's going to be Smothering Tithe. Oh yeah, and outside of Dockside, you've got access to Smothering Tithe in Breya, which gives you a bunch of treasure tokens. So that's some good stuff. Okay, so let's see what we draw into for the turn. That is going to be, let's see. So we've got Windswept Heath. Ooh, Secure the Waste. Do we want to pay 2... for Smothering Tithe? Yeah, I guess we can do that. I mean, they might be suspecting something if we don't pay for Smothering Tithe. This is going to be 1, 2, 3. Yeah, because if we can set up a Secure the Waste and then go for Jetmir, we might be able to sneak something in. So let's just kind of represent some weakness on this one. Not necessarily weakness, but it's going to be 1, 2. Yes, we'll pay that 2 colorless. Let's drop in our land for the turn. And then we don't really want to... We're looking at a 6/4. I guess we can get in for a little bit extra damage because we're looking at Urza being just a straight up just 1/4. Yeah, I mean they're completely tapped out, so we could swing in with Jetmir, get in for 6, go to our attack step. Because I don't think they're gonna want to trade with Urza. If we swing in with the zombie or the druid, then either way we're gonna lose it on that one. So we get in for 6, drop them down to 29. And then anything else, pass it to our opponent. So we'll see what they end up doing with Breya. Because we're going to get a quick little math check on this one. Because I think I think we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got 8 creatures off of Secure the Waste. So what we can do is, even if they wipe the board out, we can tap down Druid. We do need to wait a little bit though. And then we go for Druid, and that'll put us at getting 8 creatures on the battlefield. That'll be Jetmir, because I feel like right now they're not going to dump down too many artifacts. Alright, they're just going to go for the Urza activation. That's going to be Sign in Blood. Okay. And if they tap down on mana, maybe they're trying to go for an Aether Flux to get a little bit of life gain on this one. That will be kind of complicated on this one, is if they get past the point of Aether Flux Reservoir to where they get enough life gain, but we might be able to sneak in and Secure the Waste. If our opponent's just trying to go for a little bit more of a fun style game with Urza, and they're going for the 5-mana activation, we can dump in a Secure the Waste. And this just goes to show you how crazy Jetmir can be, in that, you know, even if Jetmir does get removed, it goes back to the command zone, we can recast it next turn. You can just drop in, tap out for Secure the Waste, and be in a really good spot. Our opponent's going to go for the Exile effect off of Urza. Okay. And that still gives them 1, 2, 3, 4. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 5 total mana, so we are dipping below the necessary mana that they need to leave up for Jetmir. Alright, so we're going to click OK on Breya. That's going to get rid of Jetmir. So we're going to click OK on that one. We'll return Jetmir back to the command zone. And if they want to swing in for 9, let's see. So this is going to be, what else are they tapping out for? That's going to be Boros Signet, so they're going to gain some life off of that. And we are still looking at counter magic. But if they tap down on this one, I kind of like being able to go for Sword of the Miki. And get down Sword of the Miki. Okay, that's fine. We're not really worried about Thopter Foundry right now. And even then, they don't have the necessary mana for Thopter Foundry. Okay, so we might... Let's see what this is. Alright, so this is going to be Urza. If they go to the instep, we're looking at 1 blue mana. Let's go for Secure the Waste. Let's go and crack Windswept Heath. And let's go and grab something that 100% doesn't come into play tapped. I guess Taiga? Taiga Uppercut. So we grab Taiga Uppercut. Let's go 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's drop in Secure the Waste, tap down Druid. X is going to be 8. Secure the Waste for 8. And we've got a bunch of soldier tokens. And maybe we get it on this one. I haven't done the combat math. Smothering Tithe, I think we will, because we don't want to give him a treasure token. I think it's okay if we pass on that one. So we're not going to pay, because I can't remember exactly how much Jetmir's total is. So let's go Jetmir. I think we were still good either way, but I just didn't want that to end up happening. All right, so 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Tapping down. That's going to be 1, 2. And we'll just tap down for Ancient Tomb. There we go. Tap down for 2 more. Get down Jetmir. One of the nice things about Jetmir is that Jetmir is, it doesn't matter. It is just get it on the battlefield and you have that nice modal effect. So let's see if we can get this in. We're going to send the entire crew in. They've got Vigilance. We will eat a 12/12 Construct token, and Urza will stop something. Let's see what this is. 1, 2. Oh, yeah, either way, they're going to have... Okay, I got ahead of myself. It was the Breya. They could send Jetmir. Yeah, we'll return it back to the command zone. For some reason, I got in my head that they could have stopped. Okay, there we go. I was thinking that Jetmir was just good to go, and we were just going to win the game, and I just totally forgot about Breya being out there. Okay. I got real bad card draw... Not card draw brain. I get real bad, and, like, we're going to get sneaky and win the game with Secure the Waste, but then I just forgot Breya could just go for that. Because either way, they would have been able to go for the Boros Signet tap-down Construct token line of play to go for that -2. Alright, so they're going to block on one of the Construct tokens, but I guess we can just rebound and do it again. So we drop them down to 25, and we'll see if they've got a counter, or not a counter magic, a board wipe on that one. We'll go and drop in the land drop for the turn. And, yeah, we'll just go and pass the turn. So we are looking at being able to get down Jetmir again. If they want to go for the Breya to kind of put us down below creatures, they certainly can. But we're going to have the mana for it. So, yeah, for some reason in my head, I was thinking... that's what it was. I think I just forgot that you can tap down, I guess, artifacts to add blue mana to go for that Breya activation. Or for some reason, my brain just completely forgot about Breya, thinking that we just automatically won the game with Secure the Waste. But at the very least, it is nice for us to be able to showcase what Secure the Waste can do in a deck like this, where you just get down a bunch of creatures dropping a Jetmir. We don't even have Jetmir swinging in and attacking, but just having this, just treating Jetmir as like this 4-mana Naya combat trick enchantment that gets on the battlefield that gives all of your creatures just this insane bonus. It is very good. All right, so this could be Moonsliver Key, and let's see what this is. If they end up going for artifact with a mana ability or a basic land, put it in your hand. So, and they do have to reveal it. So we'll see what the reveal zone is off of that. That is the exile zone, so we don't have to worry about that right now. We'll see what the reveal zone is, and that is KCI, which is going to allow them to get into a lot of artifacts. So, do they have an enabler with KCI? Well, let's see. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Get down KCI. Let's go and always yield to Aetherflux Reservoir, because they do have Sword of the Meek is in the graveyard. Yep. So if they have Sword of the Meek and they have Thopter Foundry in the hand, then they can go kind of wild. Or if they have the way to search up Sword of the Meek, not Sword of the Meek, Thopter Foundry, then they can get should be able to get the loop going with Krark Clan Ironmark. So let's see what this is. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be an Urza Shuffle, Inventor's Fair, which can be played. And then they can sack artifacts, search your library for an artifact card. Because they KCI, they sack 1, 2. They've got enough color mana to drop in Thopter Foundry. And then between Urza and KCI, they basically just go infinite. Alright, so let's see what this reveal is. The reveal is Thopter Foundry, then they're going to be able to get in on this one, because they can Aetherflux their way out of this one by constantly, well, not casting something, but they'll just have a ton of Nin's Deathmantle. Okay, so I feel like they're definitely going to go. So Nin's Deathmantle, we'll see if they put that on. Alright, so they're going to go Nin's, let's see, once they get the loop going, then we'll see exactly what's going to be established. So they'll get Nin's Deathmantle onto Urza. So they sacrifice Breya, and then they may pay 4. I think they'll be able to loop Breya. I don't play with Nin's Deathmantle a lot, so as far as the looping mechanisms, I'm just not seeing it yet. Once I see that loop going, then I'll jump into commentary. Alright, and our opponent is going to be able to loop Breya, so good game to our opponent on this one. Yeah, so they had a couple different lines of play. They had opponents, yeah, they're going to be able to loop Breya to get the 2 Thopter tokens onto the battlefield. They're going to have infinite mana. They're going to be able to go infinite with Urza and just kind of go from there. At the very least, they've got Aetherflux Reservoir, even if they don't have some sort of enter the battlefield damage effect. So good game to our opponent on this one. They're going to get it. We tried to get the sneaky Warrior token win in there, but I just got sneaky win condition brain fog going and thought we could get in there and just totally forgot about Breya being able to go for the 2-minute activation on Jetmir. So, but anyway, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks, bye.